Hello and welcome to your reading. This reading is going to be a bit different. I know it's been a minute since I have made a video on here, and I just wanted to make sure that, I always like to make sure I'm in the right headspace before I actually do these readings. And sometimes I'll let the collective messages that I have put out just like sit there for a little bit and let the universe take them into their cosmic winds, per se. But I have a bunch of little charms that I have had in my possession for a while because I thought I was going to use them more for this crystal wrapping stuff and this jewelry things that I really just like to do with my rocks and my crystals, just so I can make sure I have them on my person and not have my pocket full of rocks or a little bag that's full of rocks that I'm worried about like getting all chipped up and stuff. So I'm gonna pull some charms and then we're gonna do your tarot cards as well. So always take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and think of me as just some stranger that's here to give you some advice. You know, if you've been talking to some random wise old grandma, grandpa that has some little wisdom to share, that's kind of how my readings are and how I really intuitively sort of channel them, is like something you hear someone say passing by, and who knows what you may resonate with that stranger's sort of wise words. So let's get into what your charms could possibly be. And I tried this out a couple times on myself, so I wanted to make sure that like this was something I was like 100% feeling called to bring into the reading. So thank you for being here with me. Let's see what we have here. Oh boy, okay. I almost thought we had two, but we have three different suns here. We have one and two of the same one, because this is technically uh, it was two bags worth of charms that may have similar things to them. I think what is happening here is you are very much illuminated, and I just found these stuck together. Oh, this is a key. I don't know if you can tell. We have one, two, three, four, five keys here. Three suns, an octopus, a crown. I was gonna call this a feather, but it's a leaf. That starfish you saw, an anchor with a wheel. I don't know if I already mentioned the tree. And all of these suns. Okay, alright, let's see here. These are really indicating to me not only is the keys really representing a lot of that. I just feel like it's unlocking inner wisdom, because the sun being out here three times is almost like your guides, ancestors, spirit team has been guiding you. Like, I feel a Three of Cups energy with the Three of Suns here. It's so funny to call it that. Um, and the fact that it's the sun also makes me think of Three of Wands as well, where you're really like creatively, passionately building something here. And it's not just something that's like, not like a woo woo dream. It's like you are creating, I want to say, a lifestyle that's actually going to be more cultivating for your path in this world and whatever you feel is your purpose. We also do have a little crown. I don't know if I mentioned that. I keep forgetting what I'm mentioning because I'm getting like the messages as I'm looking at them. Oh, I feel like you have put down a sort of crown because it's not one that fits your head properly. And I feel like you've wanted to sit here and either renovate this crown, this sort of confident energy you have, or create something that actually fits. And I feel like you currently have, because something about there being five keys gives me the energy of the number five in numerology, where it's truly all about change, but it's the change that is the spark, that initial like movement towards change. And I feel like wherever you're going, this little anchor here, the fact that it's like has the also the wheel on there, wherever you're steering your life, there's always an anchor back to yourself here, because we also have the tree. And oh, I am almost seeing this, and this is kind of funny with the leaf and the tree. It's almost symbolizing like the autumn season, the season of fall. And I think you're watching a lot of things fall away, like leaves falling off a tree. And no matter where life takes you, no matter where you have to turn your ship of enlightenment and purpose, you're always anchored within yourself. You're always anchored in the passionate new beginnings you've been able to create. Because with the starfish here and the octopus, it's almost like you understand what makes you you, but you also know when and where to hide from quote unquote potential danger, because whenever the octopus sees potential danger, it is very, very quick to not like scurry away, but find very creative and almost elaborate, complex ways to hide. And I don't know if you've seen when octopuses literally look like they're shape shifting into different little pieces of coral to hide from predators, and it's not even like hiding from people, it's energies that some people may give off, or energies of certain particular situations. Um, and it's almost like this energy that you know you have to steer clear from. It's not because you don't like somebody, or you don't like something's not your cup of tea. It's because you know it's going to throw you off track. Maybe something was your cup of tea and you're discovering that that's not going to fit this sort of perfect crown that I think is ready to actually fit on your head. The true crown that's actually about to fit on your head. Because even though this crown's kind of symbolizing like, oh, this was like made for you in a way, it's almost like you you feel like you are genuinely the star of your own show here. And I'm noticing there are 4 keys that have symbolism of 3. This is the only key that doesn't, and it feels like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is like you have unlocked the master key to yourself and your enlightenment on how you've chosen to enlighten yourself. I know this is going to be a little hard to see, but this one has 3 little kind of leaf things on it. Same with this one. It's almost like a clover. And this one, which these 2 are the same, have that sort of 3 pronged sort of spiral, I want to say, which I believe there's I believe it's a Celtic like symbol that has that sort of 3-sided spiral on it, and that is the symbol of rebirth. That is the symbol of someone truly being reborn into themselves here. And the fact that there are 3 suns in this, it's like 3 sons of the sun card is what I'm picturing. And I just feel this overwhelming sense of a spirit team truly guiding you towards the light of your own self. Now, this is more or less, you've worked through some shadow work here. You've had to be elusive around negative energies and believe in your own ability to be, I'm hearing like starborn, but not like uh in like a spiritual way, like in like a celebrity way, like born to be a star kind of a thing. Because the starfish, while it's also that like outward energy, it's also like something entirely like unrelated to an actual starfish. And I feel like this is where it's coming into line with how you see yourself. You don't have to be in sort of a public eye sort of path or purpose, but I feel like the public eye is your spirit team's eye, the universe's eye. And I feel like you yourself, your own eye, and it's this energy that has kept you in check with who you truly are. Because I feel like you've worked through a lot of the fallen leaves, per se, in order to truly ground yourself in who you truly are. And I feel like your spirit team is proud that you've created these initial changes, but no matter where you go, even if you're entering that unknown, you got to anchor yourself into yourself. I think this is a lot of energy of working on the root chakra, which is a lot of, I feel like a lot of shadow work you've done. It's almost like you've worked through the blockages of certain energy centers and the root chakra specifically, and how those energy centers are really important. The first three, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, are almost like the engine to the whole entire energy and energetical system of our spiritual bodies. I think you understand that, and how it's blocked. There's things have been like blocked in those areas, and the fact that it's another three as well. Three is very symbolic here. I suggest if you want to look deeper, look into like all the symbolism of the number three, not just looking up angel number, look up numerology and just symbolism of the number three and all the different things. I think you are really creatively and have creatively unblocked a lot of things, but now it feels like you're left barren with no leaves on the tree here. But you're still rooted in this ground, this grounding energy that has been something you've created and you've set your foot down on. Like, this is who I am, this is who I want to be. Even if everything around me is falling away, I'm so grounded in the reality of what my own soul wants. And it's not just a want that is like some, what's the word? Like, it's not a fallacy is a word. It's not a fake sort of dream or a fake want. It's something that you want, and you know what you need to do in order to get these things that you want, and not just a want of like, I wish and I want. It's a desire of a want. So this sort of wishing and wanting and understanding, you know, you need to, like, not necessarily, it's not like wishing upon a star, but I feel like from the outside looking in, there are a certain collective of energies that be like, oh, well, you're just wishing on some BS, when it's really like, no, this is the one thing that makes you feel closest to home in your heart than ever before. And I think the falling of the leaves is falling away of like, you genuinely aren't looking at people in a way that's going to, I want to say, be a detriment or backpedal your progress on like creatively and consciously believing in yourself and being confident in yourself. I feel like you may hear some things, or you may see some people talking about someone else who has a similar dream and similar want as you, and they're making fun of those people, but it's more of like, this dream that you have, this want, this desire isn't necessarily uncommon as you think, and you can focus so much better now than you have before, because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of shadow work to be like, I'm gonna stop thinking of what these people are saying, or what these people can say about me and about my dreams and goals in life. And that's where the Three of Suns really like comes in here. Like, these three suns come in here, is this overwhelming universal and collective illumination of your soul, and truly seeing it like, I have no regrets about choosing what I truly feel and believe to my core. And I feel like you have struggled to do that. It's something that we try our best to like convince ourselves, and over time it gets a little easier, and now you're at a point where like, holy crap, what those people say does not bother me at all. I know what I believe in, and that's fine. And you can still move about your day, move about your life, and how you want to move it, because I feel like immediate people around you don't really want to like fuck with you, is like a very blunt way of saying it, because I feel like it's easy for someone to be a quote unquote keyboard warrior than to say it to your face. And I feel like, not necessarily it's like people don't want to say it to your face, because I feel like the people who would want to say it to your face know that you would school them and a lot of educational things. There's something about this, especially with all the keys, like you hold the keys to a lot of knowledge in your life and in your, I want to say, ability to do something, ability to find out information. King of Pentacles here, one of the most matured court cards in the whole entire deck, the tarot deck here. King of Pentacles is truly you at your greatest right now. And I feel like this is where, see the tree being grounded and rooted into the earth. And I think this is where it comes into play of like, you know you don't need much around you because the richness and wealth that you feel in your life is natural, organic things around you. The fact that you're alive, the fact that you are a living, breathing human being here on this planet. And it doesn't have to be like any more than just that. Like, you are grateful every day that you get to just wake up every day and exist in this world. And yeah, as I'm filming this, it is like just beginning to be the like end half, like the second half of September of 2025, and I think you've truly explored and expanded your own personal grace to give yourself peace of mind and knowing that, well, this is what I can do, and knowing that that's all that you can do, and the fact that you do it and you're committed to doing it is the grace that you give yourself, is the peace of mind that you give yourself, because you understand, you feel like you could be doing more to help other people, but also the King of Pentacles knows when they can only give so much and they have to save some for themselves, save some energy for what they're building, because if they're able to build themselves up, like the Three of Wands I was kind of seeing earlier, they're able to build that Three of Wands bridge to be strong and supportive for other people to cross over that sort of bridge. And what does the bridge lead to? I feel like it leads to just you helping people. I'm not exactly sure what it may lead to, but a bridge in this metaphor is essentially a big symbolism to help guiding people in a way. And I don't know if it's like a modern sort of thing that you do, whether, like, I always feel like this energy has to relate to like some people who work in healthcare, in any form of healthcare, even mental health care, emotional health care. You feel like it's your responsibility to help, but you can't help other people unless you help yourself. And it's not just like you're only helping yourself here. You're finding time to, I think, help other people. We have Four of Pentacles here. I want to get a little more on the board because that can mean a lot of different things. I feel like partially what it means is you are genuinely releasing control at the right times. Four of Pentacles and Four of Swords. You are genuinely and honestly saying, okay, we're having a little too much scatterbrained, or we're going stir crazy on this. Let's calm down. Let's center ourselves, ground ourselves, and anchor ourselves within ourselves, and actually keep this momentum going. Because you know, when you work on burnout, it's just gonna, this momentum is just gonna stop. And it almost feels like the momentum of a moving car or a moving bus. Like, especially even like a ship too. Like, if this ship hits a rock, it's gonna send everything flying forward. The physics of that is just gonna stop the boat, but everything in the boat that's loose is just gonna be sent forward. And I feel like that's where you are very conscious about your progress and conscious about your momentum. So you're keeping this momentum of like, okay, we're reaching this rocky area, let's calm down, let's slow ourselves down, and let's make sure that we have things of priority like completed first. And if those things of priority make you feel like you have to lay down for a little extra longer, then that's exactly what needs to happen. You are the anchor and this, I want to say, the captain of your own ship at the same time. If you need to even anchor your boat in order to wait for a storm to pass, that's what you're gonna do. And I feel like you've been healing the part of releasing the control over the fact that, well, we should just bear this storm. I think what is like conscious to you is you understand how much that is being normalized here. And sorry, someone was just calling me, but I need to get this out really quick because I feel like that's a little confirmation of like you are creatively understanding how conscious you are about how certain shit should not be normalized. And the biggest thing that I can come up with an example for me is the fact that I have seen a lot of research that's been done on the human body, and then you go and you do the research for what's done on the female body specifically because, you know, biologically, the male body and the female body function very differently. And it's not to say one's better than the other, but apparently male bodies can function off of like 5 to 6 hours of sleep and be okay. And yeah, they may need a nap or whatever because 5 to 6 hours is not enough sleep for the human body in general. But I recently discovered that the female body needs about 10 hours of sleep to keep that hormonal cycle that we go through every 30 days like in motion, in check, and functioning properly like a well-oiled machine. And my boyfriend has noticed when I don't get a full 10 hours of sleep, he sees how that like messes with my ability to just do not basic things, but just to like actually feel like I'm being functional. And to me, I feel like, oh my god, I'm sleeping for 10 hours. That's so long. I can't do anything. But I'm not really accounting for what I put my own body through and what I put my own, like, hormonal cycle through. And he has seen that my body and my person and my mentality function so much more smoothly and so much better when I get that 10 hours of sleep. And it makes me feel so odd because I'm like, that's not normal. Like, oh, but yeah, it was actual, like, research that was done multiple times. And it's also something I've noticed in my own body that has affected me differently. And also, just being very aware of that has made me feel like I'm not getting enough work done. But then I've had to sit with myself and say, no, like, this is what your body needs to get what you truly want done. And it's that kind of aspect of like, oh yeah, you have to bear the storm to get through life. You have to do this to get through life. In the old ways, yeah, sure. I was gonna say more of a capitalistic sort of way. Yeah, you have to just keep working 24/7 and only take a break when you need to eat or go to the bathroom. There's no sleep. You can't, the sleep is for the weak or whatever the whole grind set mentality is. And I think that's where you're like, I don't care if people think of bearing the storm is normal. I'm putting my anchor down here and I'm waiting this storm out. And while you're doing that, you're actually getting more done, is what I'm hearing. Like, I'm seeing this person like anchor their ship, and they're like, okay, well, we haven't scrubbed the deck in a while. And hey, one of our, like, our sails is, you know, looking a little raggedy. Maybe we should like sew it up a bit. And you're making your ship, which is your own body, I'm hearing, and your own like ability to do something stronger. So whatever you think is like someone saying, well, you should normalize the 5 to 6 hours of sleep because your body only needs like 6 to 8 hours. So if you get 6 hours, then you have all this time during the day to do stuff, and it's like justice reversed. That's out of balance. That is something that is out of balance. You are looking into the upside down justice card as like literally, I'm thinking obviously not Stranger Things upside down, but like the upside down of the as above so below. The so below part is the upside down. And I feel like that's where you're resting, you're allowing yourself to take necessary breaks or take necessarily like emotional rest of like, let's just like do this little puzzle thing, or let's do this little game over here, let's just play something cozy of a cozy game instead of a super fast paced game where you have to think a lot. You're allowing your emotional, mental, and physical like health to rest and, oh, excuse me, recuperate. uh energy here. And I want to say that, like, whether you feel like something should be normal or not, deep down, Five of Swords, you understand that, like, a certain normal is not your way of being. Five of Swords, it's not your way of living. And I'm hearing, like, I don't care. I don't care if people think that I'm lazy or I'm weird or whatever it is. You know what's good for your mental and emotional being. And I have a feeling that people who try to normalize it, who may be a lot like you, whether it's like same gender or not, whatever it is you want to be, you have some people that are like, well, yeah, no, I work and function off of like 6 to 8 hours and I'm fine. When you have seen those people run into their emotional burnout or their mental burnout to where their ship is hitting those rocks, sending things flying, and then that's when it's like an alarm bell for them of like, hey, take a break. Some people like to just have that alarm in their head of like, oh yeah, once we reach this chaotic point is when we're actually going to take a break, and not when we deserve a break, deserve to recuperate ourselves and build ourselves even stronger than before. And it's funny, we have Five of Swords here and the Five Keys here, because that key to your knowledge is so powerful. Knight of Wands. Right when you're like, no, we're not doing it in the way that you're normalizing it, is when you are moving forward with so much more energy than before. And while these people are cleaning up the mess and still like trying to find people who fell overboard on their ship once they hit those rocks, while they're still trying to gather all their stuff together, you are sailing right past them. And this is where it feels like the tortoise and the hare. It's so like, it's so funny how this has like gone full circle to a simple metaphor of the tortoise and the hare, and how the tortoise ends up winning the race instead of the hare. And it's because the hare is symbolized as a lot of other things, I will say, but one of the things I see as the hare or a bunny, whenever I see a bunny out in like nature, I see that as slow down, let's not be too hasty, because bunnies move very fast and also are very fast at creation, and stuff like that. So I give myself that notion of like, hey, slow down. And I feel like if you have seen a bunny or have seen a bunny in multiple ways, then understand it's your time to slow down, because you know right when you gain that rest, that Four of Swords, you're ready to actually like move faster than before. And I feel like this is where you have like an explosive start here that really pushes you into your future, into like the I want to say activities and actions that you want to pursue, because it's almost like these actions are things that you are very, very grateful that you get to pursue. So you're like trying to keep that grateful mentality on board, because I feel like you know what it's like when you don't choose these things and you don't choose to feel grateful that you can do something. It doesn't have to necessarily be like, oh, hey, I can do this because I put my mind to it. It's like, I can do this and I get the chance to do this. I get the chance to actually live this life. And in the simple ways of living your life every single day to the fullest, even if living your life to the fullest is sitting and relaxing and watching the rain. Four of Cups, Three of Swords. I'm hearing watching the rain as in like watching things fall away, and not feeling the weight on your heart anymore. The Three of Swords reverse is giving me this idea that it's like these swords are falling out of this heart here. This pain that was so much weight on you before is so much lighter than before, and I feel like you are feeling a bit lighter, so it's like use that energy properly. Okay, sorry for the interruption there. Uh, my boyfriend just got off work. So, where, not just where we left off, but where you're at, has been in such reflection to where you want to be. And this is where I remember we were talking about the like things just falling away and like falling to the wayside, and I feel like not just things falling away to where you feel lighter and feel clearer in your heart and your mind, but this is something that is like things are clearing and allowing you to see truly what is not just meant for you, but what works for your lifestyle. And everyone has things that make them tick, things that make them work and function in the right way. And I feel like if you are someone that has been feeling like, oh, well, I can't function in that sort of way, I'm going to function in this way because this is what works for me, continue that. This is where that Four of Cups is coming in here, because it's removing so much unnecessary weight that I feel like wasn't yours to carry. And this feels like a lot of like, I want to say status quo, way of doing things, kind of like the cliche sort of, oh, you know, after you graduate high school, go to college, get a job, right? And knowing that it's not all that simple, it's not all that cracked up to be kind of a thing. It leaves people in a state of wanting even more than what they should have, because they're constantly chasing something more that isn't necessarily for them, and finding ways to just keep along that path that's not going to consistently serve them and their lifestyle that they truly want, or bring in the things that they truly want. And I feel like you have some people wrapped up in wanting you to like, hey, follow in this path. They're like arms reaching out, and you're just like, but wait, there's something more here. There's something more beyond these five pentacles. And it's almost like seeing how um there's something more behind this stained glass here, and that usually when it comes to the five of pentacles, it's like someone outside of a church or some cathedral like place, and it's seeing how there is warmth once you cross over into this building, into this, I want to say, structure, not just like a structure or even like a religious thing. It's more of a structure of a belief system, because some of these symbolisms, while it has like a lot of sort of church like symbolism, it doesn't always have to like always relate exactly back to the church. When we see these sort of symbolic cathedral things, it could just be the structure of a belief system, kind of like how the Hierophant is seen almost as a priest, but it doesn't have to be that initial priest. They're like an instructor for an institution, a company, or a like a lifestyle sort of way of being, and it's this belief system that is rooted in all of that. And I feel like you are confident in moving forward in this belief system, but other people aren't. Other people see, oh, well, that's not going to lead you to happiness. But happiness to them is always wanting more. Happiness to them is they can't stop gaining more things, wanting more stuff, wanting the more of the status quo, which is, I feel like I'm seeing like someone just want is so quick to get married because they have the money to, and it's like, well, you could just save that money for yourself. And I feel like for some people, marriage is like this grand big thing, this final accomplishment to like really be with somebody. But if you truly love somebody, you are already internally married to them in that way. And I feel like that's where it's like chasing the status quo, and people keep chasing that, chasing that, chasing that, not getting the satisfactory that they actually truly want out of something. They want something that is what other people will look at and go, ooh, ah, oh, they have their stuff together, they must be so happy, when in reality, they're just constantly running till they're burnt out. They're running until they have nothing left or no energy left, just to get to a certain point in life that is deemed as successful. When success to you is just committing to your goals and accomplishing them in the smallest way. Like, I see it almost as someone like committing to like building a garden, and you start with one plant and you are successful this year with growing that one plant and harvesting those vegetables or whatever you wanted to harvest from the garden, and allowing yourself to like really express that I love the fact that I only take what I need. I don't take anything more. And I feel like that's truly what you're grateful for, is you do not take more than what you need. And some people are like, but I need more. And it's like, no, you want more. You don't need more. And the only thing you want is just not just a successful lifestyle, but like this path to work out for you. But if you don't believe it can work out, then how is it ever going to work out? And I think that's the thing that you've kind of clicked in your head. If you don't believe in this, how will this ever work? If you don't believe in what you know you need to do to believe in this, how will it ever work? And I think this is where you're seeing there's more beyond the struggle, there's more beyond the constant weight of what people consider the norm, because I feel like there are communities all around the world that are creating a new norm per se, to where that example of me getting 10 hours of sleep is common and is functional with certain things. Because also there are times where I feel like I either not necessarily can't sleep, but it's more of like I feel like my body has more energy that it needs to exert, or has more energy that I know I will essentially need to like sleep to gain that back. And it's really all down to like the biology of the female and male body. We all function in different ways, and I feel like the best thing for everyone watching this to do collectively is get in tune with your own body. You don't have to make a crazy like workout schedule, workout routine. You don't have to make a crazy diet plan. It's just actively researching what you want to work on and seeing, oh, hey, if I just add that to my meal, or if I make this little easy budget friendly meal. Like, if you want a really good budget friendly meal, and specifically if you have a rice cooker, rice cookers are just top tier. Me and my boyfriend constantly always make beef and broccoli, and obviously you can swap out the protein with whatever you are comfortable with, but that is a really good source of iron, and especially calcium too, because I'm lactose intolerant, so I need some calcium, and that is in broccoli. And broccoli has high amounts of iron. And if you know anything about the female body, we go through our menstrual cycle and we need a lot of that iron back into our body in different ways, and more ways than just one. And you get a lot of good carbs out of just the rice that is in the beef and brock rice bowl is what we make. We make it with rice. We get stew beef, which is a lot cheaper than just getting a steak and chopping it up. We get stew beef, like a pound of it, and we get a bag of broccoli, like frozen broccoli, whether you want to get frozen broccoli, fresh broccoli, whatever. It's very simple, it's very budget friendly for us, because we usually get like one of those bulk bags of rice that lasts like months and months at a time, almost like a whole year. Um, this is where I think you're actively stepping into this, like directing yourself in ways to where you're like, okay, if I do this, it's going to help out my emotions, which is going to help out me actually physically moving towards my goals in life. This is where you are adjusting course depending on what's going on, anchoring yourself properly when you know you need rest and need to work on things on your metaphorical ship here, and then bringing that anchor up and adjusting course properly to where you are zooming past people who have struggled so much in certain parts, and they're like, oh, well, they're just lucky, is like what I'm hearing. And it's like, no, you're not just lucky, you're just honest with how you function. You're honest to yourself, and you're honest with the fact that you don't need a whole lot. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that some people can't get over. Eight of Cups. You're moving beyond this normal of, well, I'm just gonna accept that I need to run myself into burnout. You're moving beyond that, and people are like, what do you mean you're moving more towards 10 cups? Shouldn't you just already appreciate that you have 8 cups here? You're already fulfilled almost like 80% of the way. Why are you asking for more? And you're not asking for more. You're working to gain more of what you know you need in your physical, mental, and emotional body. It's not about wanting more of materialism, because sometimes the materials are going to help us gain this sense of balance with our mental and emotional bodies. And I say that in the sense of, like, let's say you want to do that whole rice, beef, and broccoli bowl in some sort of different way. Like, if you're vegan, you don't have to put the beef in there. You can put any sort of other protein in there that works for you. Um, you understanding that, okay, yeah, no, I need to go buy a rice cooker, and people are like, why are you buying a rice cooker? Don't you already have a pot and a pan? Like, you can just make rice in a pot and a pan. People who haven't owned a rice cooker probably don't understand how not only convenient it is to have, you can make a lot of different things in a rice cooker specifically that isn't just rice. I feel like people have seen those videos of like people making sort of whole meals in a rice cooker and using that as like a means to slow cook stuff or just cook it in a way where it's almost like a glorified crock pot to where you could just throw it all in and it's made right then and there. And some people don't understand that there's a partial investment here, whether it's a little bit financially or a little bit emotionally or physically. And another example of how it doesn't have to be financially is how I have to have a little bit of investment in my physical health when it comes to me wanting to be a dancer. I have talked about this like all the time. It's just an easy example for me in my videos. If you watch my videos, you get it, you know. Um, but this is something that I've had to genuinely see as a physical investment because it's going to make my body even healthier in the future. And especially when I want to have kids and I'm going to be pregnant at some point way in the future, um, I'm going to still want to try to get myself to work out in a way that works for me. I'm not going to try and push myself in pregnancy, obviously, but when I do get to the point where I am pregnant, I still want to exercise. I want to keep my body healthy because my body is the one thing I have that moves me through this life and moves me through my passion, which is dance. And I feel like you're seeing that in not just the like financial part, the physical part, but it's definitely the mental and emotional part. If you don't have those things in check in a way that works for you, you know that it's not going to move you forward. You're not going to want to move you forward. And I think that's the big thing of what you've been discovering and what you've been changing and the keys that you've been unlocking in your soul. This master key here is like almost the skeleton key to your own soul and your own mind, body, and soul, to where it's a skeleton key for your mind, body, and soul. Um, and I think you've been truly discovering how and what works best. And it's like, whoever's telling you no, it's like, okay, that's your opinion. Is the flat out like thought that I feel here in this reading is like, that's how you are gonna want to work. That's not what's gonna work for me. And if they keep it pushing, you're going to keep it pushing regardless of what people have to say or what people want to do with your energy or not. Wheel of Fortune here. That releasing control. While you have a bunch of people wanting to hold on to this spinning wheel of time and control it, you're allowing yourself to take the time that is necessary. And it's almost like time is treated as not necessarily a necessity in a way of like, I need it, I need it, I need it. Some people are treating it as a necessity, as like, I need this, I need more time, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to save time here, save time there. Time's moving too fast is what I'm hearing other people say, but you're sitting here as time's a necessity, so you move with it. You move with the ebb and the flow of your own time, your own mental, emotional, and physical like clock per se. It's not even just time itself, like how, like I was talking about the female and male bodies. The male body has a 24-hour hormonal cycle. The female body has a 30-day hormonal cycle. It is very, very different, but if we work with those cycles, we get a lot done in our physical, mental, and emotional health. It is so groundbreaking that it's almost like you're creating this balance in a way that's like, I feel like not necessarily you don't understand fully, but it's like you're doing it so intuitively that you now, it's like this aha moment. Like you, Two of Pentacles gives in reverse gives me this like, oh, I finally get it. I finally see how this is all coming together. And it's because you've been able to sit here and rest and wait for the storm to pass instead of just rocking your own boat. You've allowed yourself to see the illumination past what could have been if you just kept running on empty, or running until you were empty. Three of Pentacles, I'll take from the top of the deck. Ace of Swords. Three of Pentacles and Ace of Swords, both reversed here. You almost feel like that because this keeps you so balanced, it's like, oh, this can't be real. But this is another key to your heart that I think you're discovering and learning about yourself. The energy that has felt elusive like this. Oh, there's a piece of string I caught there on accident. This elusiveness is almost leading you to the key here. It's almost like, oh, this is too easy. Not necessarily it's too easy, but you're like, wait, this works way too well for me. This doesn't make sense. But that's the thing I feel like you're actively healing. And the more that you really, not necessarily be grateful for, it's more of like being grateful for the action that you've done in the past. Being grateful for the discoveries you've made about yourself and about your own abilities, because you wouldn't feel confident in your ability currently as much as you do now. And now when it's like right in your face of like, hey, this actually works and is going to bring in a lot of fresh new ideas and fresh new ways of doing something and fresh new mindsets specifically, it's a little bit hard to like keep working on it because you're like, holy crap, is this real? Did I really get to this point? And the Star card is out here like, yes, you did. Now it's time to accept that. Now time to accept truly what you have created for yourself. And I feel like we're gonna go to, I'm not sure where I put, I think they went a little bit of both. We'll do the archetypes first. Get a little oracle message before I send you all on your way. Hello. Oh my, okay. We have the Heart here, which I don't think I've ever seen this card come out. I feel like I've seen it, but I also haven't. And then we have Anima Mundi, if you know what that means. I'm going to leave that here. If you don't, I suggest looking it up. But there is a collective understanding of truly what you know you need, not just in your own lifestyle, but in your own heart, literally. And then we are going to pull some animal oracle cards. If you've been on this channel, you know how much I love the Kim Kranz oracle decks. One of my favorites. Jesus. It's like right when I closed my eyes that launched in. Oh, we have the Otter and the Cobra. Both in reverse here, which it's almost like right when you close your eyes and trust yourself, you are launching yourself into something a whole new way of being. Almost this phoenix launching themselves into flight right when their wings are finally fully grown. Because we always know the phoenix is a big symbol of rebirth here. Let's go into the animal cards first, because I'm really curious of what this otter has to say. There's a lot of animals, so it's hard to always remember them all, and I always love the way that the book words certain things, so it's always why I go back to the book. The otter, unobstructed joy, playfulness, and contentment. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is playfulness of a child, available to us at any age. They have giddiness and reverence for life itself. Without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism, imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. When in balance, full of love and needs nothing. When out of balance, you feel gloomy, sighs, and make silly excuses. To bring into balance, dance, party, or celebration. This is very key to. It's like, regardless of what resonated from the book here, this is asking your younger self, hey, are we at the point where we wanted to be? And this could be a younger self that is you when you're in your 20s, or a younger self that's you in your teenage years. Was there a younger part of you that wanted to be where you're at now? And I want you to ask yourself, where in your actual heart has this been brought up more than once, and you feeling like, is this real energy is kind of coming from your younger self? Are we at the point in our mindset where we're truly determined here, truly expressively determined? So let's go into the Cobra here. The Cobra. Pausing, waiting, the inner teacher. The Cobra represents a teacher or spiritual guardian. The Cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. The essence of the Cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifests externally in those special guides who led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student again? What are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You are becoming the teacher to your own student here. When in balance, you feel a student of life, humble and wise. When out of balance, you feel like a know-it-all or egocentric. To bring into balance, taking a class and studying. This almost feels like the know-it-all energies like surrounding you, and you're sitting here with all of this inner wisdom of this Cobra energy, and your spirit guides are like almost being a little silent because they're kind of watching and waiting. They're like, is this outside energy gonna mess with collective? No? They're just having their opinions heard? Okay. And as soon as someone wants to come in and like strike you down in a way, there are huge blocks that person has in order to like, it's almost like they try to swing right when you turn your back, and then it's almost like a truck comes and like hits them, and they survive. Obviously, this isn't like a metaphor of keeling over. This is more of just like they get blocked in way stronger of a way than they could ever imagine. It's like almost right when they want to like really get at you with their thoughts and what they want to say is when a bunch of things happen in their life to where they're like, they can't even think about what they were going to say to you now because they have so many delays, so many things happening, like that ship metaphor, the ship hitting the rocks and everything being sent forward. It's like they didn't see the rocks because they were looking at you anchored up, being like, why are they anchored? Why aren't they doing that? And then the whole time that they were looking at you, they had people screaming, hey, we're about to hit some rocks here. Or maybe those people didn't even see it. So now they have some people falling off board their ship and not really liking, hey, you weren't paying attention. You weren't, like, you were in the driver's seat and you weren't paying attention to the road in front of you, the ocean in front of you here. And this is where it gets like really strong of a metaphor of like someone losing a lot of direction and time because they were constantly wanting to look at you. And it's almost like right when they feel like they can pounce with their words, is when the universe is like, and your spirit team, because I feel like you are very protected and have always been very protected by your spirit team. This is when they're just like, no. There's like not even words. It's just like a little finger wag of just, don't do that. Let's not do that. Now I want to read this specific hard because I don't think I ever actually read the heart card, so this deck has a lot of cards, so it's always hard to like remember every single one. Even though I can pick up the energy, I always like to just see if anything resonates from the description in the book for you guys. The heart, the home, the center, the throne. Is it possible from an imaginal point of view to sense the heart as a place? Either we are there within the realm of expansion and compassion, or we have drifted somewhere else. There is no in between. It is common for us to leave this archetypal center without realizing it, as the world, with its seductive twists and turns, offers us frequent departure. We may even become a stranger to the landscape of the heart, leaving it vacant for long stretches of time. The seat of the heart is so often reclaimed by nature, music, dance, and presence of children or animals. This card encourages us to move past the layers of life's tangles and knots and enter the wild and sacred center of the self. The most precious throne in the galaxy is awaiting your return. Some say there is a cave at the center of the heart. Others say it's a pool with a flowering white lotus. Imagine yourself there and draw what you see. Recall the last time your heart was touched. Soak in every detail you can and feel the heart awaken. I feel like that's what you're experiencing. You're experiencing that the moment maybe when your younger self had like fully expressed and was fully, I want to say, embodied in your heart. And you're feeling that awakening again here. It's so beautiful and powerful at the same time. When in light with this energy, you're expansive, knowing, and gentle clarity. When in dark, you feel fraught, tangled, and betrayal. To go deeper, I believe this is a song. The Wild is the Wind by Nina Simone. I feel like I recognize that name, Nina Simone. I know it's probably going to be hard to see because my camera does not focus. But Wild is the Wind. I feel like this is the energy of understanding how you've come so far from things that have hurt you and hurt your direction towards your heart. And every time you've been making actions back to yourself, back towards your heart, you've been finding so much more fluidity, I want to say. That's not a word. It's like you feel like you're moving through life with so much more, like, it feels like fluid is the only way I can really explain it. Not just like flow, it's like fluid to where you're going with the ebbs and the flows of water and the water of your own soul. And I feel like this is where you're being in tune with your own heart so much more than before. That's it's allowing you to use this sword to break past any more chains that are essentially outside influences trying to lock you down into something that won't work for you, and this is what you've been healing the entire time. The star cards on the bottom of the deck indicating that this has been the healing overall, and how you have healed is launching you so much more into a successful lifestyle than these other people who have tried to always go for more, go for more, go for more, go for more material things. And then they get caught up in, oh, they're tripping over their own feet, they're crashing their own ship here, and you're sailing smoothly. And I feel like while that may make some people jealous, I feel like you do have some people that are proud of you. And whether that be your spirit team and only your spirit team, I feel like there are people closest to you who truly see you and see, damn, I'm so happy for Collective that they've actually been able to like express themselves for who they truly are. And not just in like expressing and being confident, but they see it in the work that you do. They see you as this like all-knowing King of Pentacles who they don't even want to bother you sometimes because they're like, at the right time, when I'm able to like hang out with this King of Pentacles, regardless of gender, this when I'm ready to hang out with this collective, I know I can ask them the right questions. Or if I just tell them about something in a message, I know they'll get back to me in the right time. And it's so amazing for a collective right now. I feel like you are expressing yourself in more ways than just one, and I feel like your spirit team is very proud. So Please be grateful for all the work that you're doing, because you would not have this strong sense of enlightenment without you truly being yourself. And one thing I just noticed is the sun in the Justice card looks a lot like this guy right here. That is really cool. You are the light of your own life, and you're the one that can bring the not only life to your own, or life back into your own way of living, but you're the one who has been giving yourself the vitality to keep living on. And I think that's the big thing that your heart truly desires, is that passionate energy to keep living on in your own being, in your own sense of self, your own truth, and not just a truth that's like telling yourself things to make you feel full of yourself. It's your own truth that has been, hey, these are the dark things that I've been through. These are the hardships and heartaches that I've been through, and I've healed that. I've healed that and actually pushed myself in a so much better direction that I feel like isn't really truly seen unless you are you, or the people who are closest, super closest to you. And I feel like your spirit team has seen it so much, like, has seen this energy in so many more ways than just one. And that's where it's like this overwhelming sense of like, they're very proud. And I feel like this is a lot of ancestors that you may work with, or past loved ones, that there's an energy of just, I'm so proud of you. And I feel like this could also be your younger self being very proud of you, proud that you're actually able to work through all the pain that they've gone through, and say that that's not gonna control me anymore. I'm not gonna let that sit there and throw me off course. I'm gonna allow the wind to move at its own pace, and not gonna try and control the wind. Because as that one little thing in the archetypes book said, to go deeper, wild is the wind. And as wild as the chaos in our life can be, I think you are just a tad bit more wild than the chaos of its own in this time. So, thank you for letting me read your cards. That is all I have for you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!